we brought Chad in because we're talking about this thing of how do you pray for natural disasters? You know, do you pray that God moves it from one area, but then when you do that, it hits another area and other people are affected? And, you know, I think other people wrestle through this. I'm wrestling through it because my daughter is right in the path of a big storm. And so she's riding it out and is there with like her boyfriend and not me. I have no control. I hate not having control. And this is the biggest part of prayer is you have to give up control. And it worries me because I don't believe that God protects physically everybody, because history tells us that's not true. Many Christians die in events, and eventually we all do. So how do you pray for this? Like, you worry about somebody, you know, in the path, but how do you just in general pray for this, knowing that there aren't always good outcomes for you personally in it, you know?
Wally, you're halfway there. It's the control issue. That's what faith is. It's a giving up of the control and being able to say, okay, God, I'm giving this to you. I can't do anything with it. And sometimes a thing like a storm is sometimes easier to give up control because there's nothing we really can do about it. It's the other things in our life where we can hold on to some control, and those actually become a little bit harder to give up. But all in all, faith is that ability to be able to just open your hands and just say, God, this is yours, and I'm going to trust you with my daughter.
Either way.
But
it's so hard. Like, it's so like.
But here's what we don't realize. Like, we have to do that every day anyway. Yeah. Like, there's always some sort of danger. There's always something out there. And I just realized that this week my family was traveling, and I get so nervous when they're all traveling together. And when my wife's driving, not because she's a bad driver, but once again, it's the control thing.
Sure.
Like, as if, and I'm a horrible driver, as if me driving is going to make it any better. Right. But it's the control piece. And I have to just be like, God, I give them to you. It's the same as any other day of the week. And any opportunity I have to be able to open my hands. And when we do that, we grow. Our faith grows because we're able to say, okay, God, I can trust you in the storm. The story of Job in the Bible is exactly that. Like, Job's response to testing and adversity is you give sometimes and you take away sometimes. But his ability to say, but blessed be the name of God, whether either of those are true. And right now, in the facing the storm, we're having to give it over to God. And it's as easy as praying, but it's as hard as the waiting.
As praying.
It's as hard as being patient and waiting on God and trusting Him through it.
I think I have to get back to that place where I was a few years ago. So I've always feared losing my wife and my daughter because they are my whole world. And I've always feared, like, all right, God, if that were to happen, if I was to lose them, would I walk away from you? And I'd always struggled with that for years. You know, like, how would I still see you as good? And then I hit a place in my life where I was like, okay, if I lost my family, I could still say that God is good, and I wouldn't leave the rock of my faith. And that was transformative for me. And I think probably I've moved somewhat off of that or away from that. And I think maybe this is, if nothing else, this is a good reminder for me personally. I have to be that open with the things I can't control and with the things I love.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
It is hard. So, and you're right. I mean, right now, we love to think we have control. Right. But it's actually an illusion. And so the Lord gives us opportunities, and He does. He tries to bring us back to ground zero to remind us He's a good Father, and He loves your daughter and your wife more than you even love them. And so therefore, He's going to do right by them no matter what the outcome.
Yeah, so whether you're facing Milton or the past tragedy or a future one or just some other thing in your life, hopefully this conversation kind of helps you refocus or reframe how to pray for things and God's role in your life as well.